Hey, I'm Haley McNeese. I'm a registered nurse, and I've been serving at Hospital Misión Tarahumara here in the Sierra Tarahumara Mountains of northern central Mexico in the state of Chihuahua for the past 3.5 years. I work full time in the hospital as a charge nurse, overseeing the care of the indigenous Tarahumara people here on the inpatient side. And I'm also the coordinator for the mobile clinic, which goes out into very remote communities to offer medical services to places that wouldn't otherwise have access to any kind of health care. I've had the opportunity to see many incredible stories here, but one of the most obvious is our long-term patient, Reynaldo. He's a 33-year-old young man who arrived shortly after I did. He had been involved in a train accident and was left completely paralyzed due to a spinal injury. So he came to us after having spent a month at his home where he was not at all being well cared for. He was developing all kinds of complications from the paralysis, and the family ultimately brought him to us as kind of a last resort, and they were kind of done with him. They were ready to abandon him, essentially. And so we took over his care. He was extremely depressed at that point, confiding with some of the nurses that he wanted to end his life. But we did our best to try to encourage him and share with him the mission behind why we do what we do, which is the love of Christ. We've been able to operate on him a couple of different times for different needs that he had, and his progress physically has been tremendous. And even more than that, he's flourishing emotionally. He smiles all the time. He's been with us for over 3 years now, with really no end in sight to his stay with us, but he's really been integrated as part of our family. He was given an electric wheelchair, and he's regained in large part the use of his arms and his hands. So he's able to regain his independence just going around the hospital compound. And although, only God knows exactly what's going on in his heart, but I truly believe that he has received the Holy Spirit. We've shared the gospel with him many, many times over his 3 years here. And I believe he has accepted the Lord. And so just an amazing way that, something that seemed like just the worst thing that could happen to someone, losing your mobility, brought him here and brought him to a context in which he was able to know the Lord in a real and intimate way. Working at Hospital Misión Tarahumara has been the greatest blessing of my life up to this point. When I came here, I knew of God's goodness, of course, and I had seen it in my life, but here I've been able to see it in an extraordinary way. Just the way that we are able to bridge cultural gaps, see the way that God's family is united under the banner of his love. Just being able to be a small piece of reconciliation, of seeing these tremendous gaps that we see of wellness in different parts of the world, and being able to reach out and meet physical needs while also partnering that with the reason behind what we do, and seeing that Christ's love transcends all boundaries. I feel like it's such a tremendous privilege for me to see lives transformed, and just speaking honestly, God is transforming me in a more powerful way than I ever could have imagined. Just as he leads me, as he shows me what it means to depend on him day after day in a way that I hadn't been forced to before. It's been a beautiful journey, and I'm so grateful.